As the saying goes, it's better to see something once than to hear about it 1,000 times. And the same could be said for marketing your home remodeling business. And that's why today we're going to be talking about marketing on Pinterest and Instagram and doing it the right way to help scale your business. And so, first and foremost, you want to understand your target audience. You see, visual marketing has to begin with preparation, and it's crucial to target the right people on those platforms. That's why you have to study the target audience of your home remodeling business carefully and be very clear on who those individuals are. You need to know their preferences, their interests, and you also have to find out when they're most active online and what kinds of things they're looking for. And from there, you can begin to plot out your visual marketing strategy. And so let's start with Pinterest. When you're promoting a home remodeling business on Pinterest, focus on idea boards and mood boards. You want to use the power of Pinterest boards for visual marketing, and you also want to get inspiration to further fuel the imagination of your customer. And so as you look at those idea boards, those mood boards, you're going to begin to see the kinds of things that people are responding to, they're engaging with. And so you want to use that to your advantage. You have to remember that ultimately what you're trying to do with these visual platforms like Pinterest and like Instagram is you are trying to excite the imagination of the consumer. You want them dreaming about what would that kitchen look like in my house? What would that bathroom look like in my house? And so when you understand that you're trying to excite the imagination, then you're going to put more focus on what it is you're presenting to your audience at large. And so a couple of the things that I talk about all the time is make sure the lighting's good. You may want to even invest in a few studio lights when you're creating photographs and video of your finished work. Now, a couple of other things you might want to do is you might want to include some keywords related to home remodeling in the text of your post. But make sure you don't overdo it. That's called keyword stuffing, and keyword stuffing is something that will get you blacklisted quickly. So you want to do all things in moderation. When we talk about Instagram, Instagram, of course, is immensely popular, and it can contribute greatly to the success of your company if you use that platform correctly. So a couple things that we would recommend. It makes sense to share before and after photos, project highlights, behind the scenes glimpses of the work that you're doing. And the content of that caliber is going to work very well for a home remodeling business on Instagram. You can also use Instagram stories and IGTV as additional strategies within your Instagram strategy. Now, when we talk about creating visual content, we want to make sure the content is eye-catching and it has the right graphics. Not too much, just enough. But you want to use compelling visuals. You want to excite the imagination. Remember, people buy first with emotion, and then they support that decision with logic. And so you want to stir the emotions of your potential customer. Then the next thing you want to make sure you do is you want to use hashtags. And think of hashtags as an indexing mechanism. And so what you're going to want to do is use relevant hashtags with your content. That could be things like hashtag luxury bathroom, hashtag basement conversion. And if you want to make it even more fine-tuned, then mention your community in that hashtag Dallas, Texas. Things like that are going to help draw attention to you because now your content is indexed and it's easier to find. You also want to engage with the community on these social media sites. So make sure you're replying to comments, messages, that you're participating in discussions, that you're engaging with the people who are engaging with you. And by doing so, what you're going to do is you're going to create additional connecting points. So this isn't just a set it and forget it, put your pictures out there and hope for the best. You do have to actively work and manage that social media content. Then you've got user-generated content. Ask your satisfied customers to take some pictures of their finished project and to post those things on Instagram and on Pinterest to draw more attention to you. And of course, social proof is golden. It's not you tooting your own horn. It is your satisfied customers being your advocates. You also want to be consistent in your posting. So it's important that you are posting on a regular basis. So I said this before, this isn't just a set it and forget it proposition. And by the same token, this isn't a thing where you post once and then you don't post again for 6 months, and then it's another 9 months before you post again. You want to be consistent. And so it's recommended that you update those platforms with fresh content at least one time per week. And in your consistent posting, what you're going to do is you're going to keep your remodeling business at the top of the consumer's mind, which is what we want to do. Then to measure success, you want to use the insights and the analytics that those platforms provide as a business channel. You're going to be eligible to look at analytics information, and that's something you're going to want to do. So the key performance indicators that you want to start looking at are going to be like how many views you've had, how many responses have you had, how many messages have you had, or comments have you had, or how many times has your content been shared. Those are all critical things. The next thing that you want to be thinking about, and this is something that's come along in the last few years, and that is collaborations and influencer partnerships. And so if there are influencers in your community who are on Pinterest and Instagram, local celebrities, then you may want to collaborate with them, partner up with them on your content. Or if there are industry partnerships you could tap into, then you want to do that as well. If you're in a group like a B&I group, this is a good place to have the people in that group help share your content, help promote your content for you, to be advocates for you. Now, here's something that's important as well when we talk about Pinterest and Instagram. You have to respect copyrights. So if you're posting someone else's images or videos on social media platforms, you need to make sure you have permission to do that. And then you need to have attribution links that point back to that original maker of the content. Always best to use your own content. Use your own photos, your own videos. That's going to be the safest path forward for you. And then we want to talk about trends and innovations. That's something that you want to be showing off as well. Things change constantly. And so what might have been the hottest thing in home remodeling 5 years ago may not be the hottest thing now. And so we want to take advantage of that. We also want to take advantage of things like virtual reality and AI and augmented reality for visual content creation. In fact, now with AI, you can tell the AI what you would like a visual of, and AI will produce that for you. So that's one of those things you may want to be tapping into and using to your advantage. And so as we wrap this up, just remember that you have a visual business. You can't walk a person through your projects unless you do that with video or with photos. And so you want to leverage that. Be taking pictures all the time. Be taking video all the time. And one of the things to discuss with your customers is we'd like to showcase the work that we're doing as part of our ongoing marketing. Do we have permission to take some video and pictures here while the project is in process? And then once the work's complete, we'd like to showcase that. 9 times out of 10, that customer is going to tell you that's fine. They would love to show that off because they're proud of the work you've done as well. So if we can be of help to you in putting together your social media strategy, be sure and schedule a strategy session with us. we'd love to talk with you further.